Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Julia Guseva, and today we'll talk about what we can learn from mystery writers and what we can do to improve plots of our stories. And you may be thinking, well, my story doesn't have any detectives. I don't want any murderers. I don't want any clues. I don't want any mystery. But you know what? That's what you think. But actually, all stories need clues, need mysteries, and need a little bit of a detective presence to be interesting. So even if you're writing romance, if you're writing sci-fi, something else, you can still learn a lot from mystery writers. And in this brief video, we'll talk about 4 lessons we can all learn from mystery writing. The first lesson is building suspense. If you think about it, every book is in a way a mystery. You don't know what's going to happen, and you read to find out the answers to your questions, right? So let's say you're reading a romance novel. So what's the suspense there? Well, it's obvious, probably obvious in romance books, right? You're wondering, is he going to ask her out? Is he going to propose to her? What is she going to respond? Is she going to say yes? What's going to happen? What kind of complications can arise? So you're asking all these questions, and that builds suspense, and that builds interest in the readers. And mystery writers have a lot of tricks that they use to build their stories and to make their stories engaging and suspenseful. So one way to think about it is, yes, you're reading to find out the answers, but these answers should not come too quickly, because then you'll have no reason to keep reading, right? And they shouldn't take too long to get to us, because then we're going to get bored. So how do you create that balance? How do you deal with these questions and answers? One way to do it is to use clues. So you can plant clues in your story so that the reader has certain expectations, and then the outcome will be more interesting. For example, think about this kind of ending. What if a character gets swept by a tidal wave and they're gone into the ocean? That's a dramatic scene, right? Dramatic ending to the scene. But if your readers had no expectations of it, if your readers had no clues, no foreshadowing, that scene doesn't work too well. So what if you planted clues ahead of time? What if you talked about waves rising, right? What if you showed waves building? And what if you showed this unsuspecting person playing with seashells on the beach? Then when the tidal wave comes, first of all, your readers will be expecting it. And your readers, even though they may be surprised, they're not going to be as surprised as the character. And this expectation that's building will make the ending more dramatic. If you look at mystery novels, mystery writers do this all the time. When a crime is committed, right? And they give us clues as to who the criminal could be. They don't just say at the end, oh, by the way, the crime was committed by this guy next door. We'll never mention him, but it was him. That's who committed the crime, right? As a reader, you would be quite upset at this kind of an ending, because this ending with no preceding clues would give you no chance to participate in solving the mystery. And that's what readers want. They want to go along, and they want to try and solve this mystery with you. And for that, you need to create suspense, and you need to plant these clues throughout the story. Our second lesson is learning from mystery writers about creating a plot and connections in the plot. So let's think about it this way. There's a murder mystery, and a crime gets committed, and it's a random crime. There's no reason for it. And it never gets, and the detective never can figure out what happened. Or they do figure it out and say, you know, your main character was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's why they got murdered. End of story. How would you like that kind of a mystery? I don't think you would like it very much, because in mysteries, we need to have reasons for people's actions. We need to see these connections, and we need to understand these connections. So what does it mean for your story? I would suggest asking the question why. So let's say your character wants to get a new job. Why? Oh, just because. I don't think so. People do things for a reason. So why does the character want to get a new job? Well, because they just moved, and maybe the old company closed down, and they need more money. Okay, they need more money. Why do they need more money? Well, because their air conditioning broke, and they have a sick sister who needs air conditioning, otherwise she's not going to survive. So what is wrong with her? And you can keep asking these questions, asking the questions why, and make connections with all the different elements of your plot, just like mystery writers do. So asking the question why and making connections will make your story stronger. The third thing we can learn from mystery writers is about character secrets. You know how when you read mysteries, people are not who they are. A little old lady who seems so sweet and innocent and who maybe spends a lot of time with your cat, suddenly you find out she's a spy or a serial killer or something else. So people don't appear who they are in mysteries. And how about in real life? Are people always who they say they are? Do people have secrets? And I think even in today's age of social media, when everybody's posting everything about themselves online, it's still not the case that people don't have secrets. People do have secrets. People want to create a different impression of themselves than maybe who they truly are. And people can have secrets for different reasons. Could be something they're embarrassed about. Could be something that they don't want to show to others. Could be something linked to their family history, or a number of other things that they hide from others. So think about your characters, think about your character secrets, and think about how they can be revealed. And I'll give you a silly example. Let's say you're writing a novel and your character, and by the way, this is not a romance novel, has nothing to do with romance, but your character just happens to be in love with her dentist. And of course, it's a secret love. The dentist doesn't know about it. And it seems it's just a secret, right? Maybe it doesn't come into play in your story. And then suddenly your character gets a toothache. So she has to go to the dentist. And then imagine that scene in the dental office and how different it's going to be because of that secret that you gave your character. So character secrets are definitely something to think about that will add more suspense and more interest to your stories. The fourth and last tip we're going to talk about is the importance of raising the stakes. So what does that mean? A lot of times we think of raising the stakes means that your story has to be about life and death. And if we look at mystery stories, a lot of times that's the case, right? The detective has to find the killer, otherwise the murders will continue. But not all stories deal with life and death issues. However, all stories deal with issues that are important to the main character. So think about it. If the story that's going on is not important to your main character, if the main character doesn't care about the outcome, then why should the readers care? And obviously, you can come up with a situation when the whole point of the story is that the character doesn't care about his or her life or the outcome of the scenario. That's fine too. But a lot of times, what I see in my student stories is that something important is happening, and they try to show that's important to the character, but they don't emphasize that importance enough. And if the character doesn't seem concerned about his or her fate, then the readers will not be concerned about it either. So make your characters engaged with their own life, with their own problems, make them interested, and make them work for the outcome. And then your readers will be interested in that character too, and will be more likely to read your story and to bond with that character. So again, the last tip is raising the stakes. It doesn't mean that all your stories have to be about life and death, but you have to show that whatever is happening is important to your character. Then it becomes important to the readers as well.